All right, so this is for my real estate agents. Any real estate agents that want more information on this, let me know, but you know, I know there's this kind of stress or this concern that when people say it's the right time to buy now, what do you say to people? And it's a little bit like going to a stockbroker and saying, is it the right time to buy in the stock market, right? And it's almost that crazy as to what's going on. And we can always look back and say, hey, it wasn't the right time, right? But if you have a client that bought in December of 2011, probably the low point, they're super happy. But if they bought a year earlier, are they really all that upset now? Did they get it at the low point? No, but the market came back. And I think that's one of the issues to keep talking to people about is that if you're buying for the short term, you always have some variability and some risk. But if you're not buying for the short term, it's really less problematic, right? So a couple thoughts for you and how I'm talking to clients, right? So number one, it's all situational. I mean, if someone's living for free with their parents, does it maybe make sense to continue to live for free and save some money? Yeah, there could be an argument to be made there, but if someone's writing a check for $2,500, $2,600, right, while they're waiting for the potential price drop and rates to come down, they're throwing away a check for $2,600. And we all know that in the long run, renting is always a bad idea, right? So I pulled the real estate report card from John Burns Consulting, and I pulled this 2-3 months ago, and I actually had a negative forecast for 1 year. Now it's got a actually almost flat forecast. So I don't know. But what I would say is let's just pretend that in my neck of the woods, 89178, let's just pretend that my price dropped by 5% and I just bought. But let's also make some pretty reasonable assumptions, which is the agent has gotten the seller to pay 2% towards closing costs, right? We know that didn't happen a year ago, and it's not going to happen in a few months from now when rates are going to be lower and there's going to be a lot more demand. We all know this is coming. And so, that 5% drop is going to be offset by 2% in closing costs. So on a $500,000 house, that's $10,000. So for some people, a slight drop in the valuation of their home, which they're not going to sell for a few years, is less important than $10,000 out of pocket. We also know that in many of these cases, we're getting houses at under asking price. So the house, you pay $490 for the house, and the house actually appraises at $500. So if it pulls back 5% from 500, and you've already got 2% equity in the house, well, we're seeing that quite common. So 5% drop, you can tell your clients, but 2% is being paid by the seller. Probably get a couple percent in equity right off the bat, and for the next year, the money that's being put into the mortgage, the principal is being purchased down, but bought down by 1%. So you're looking at 5% offset by another 5%, two by the closing costs, 2% because you negotiated really well, and then the 1% over the next 12 months paying down that interest. So what's the risk, right? We know it's not dropping. A big piece of the drop's already occurred. Now I'm talking about the normal market, 500, 600,000. I don't know about the $1 million and $2 million. I think that could be a different story. But the other thing that I would be telling people here is, although inflation's coming down, it's still high. So if you're leaving that money in the bank and inflation is, let's say it's 6%, right? Well, you're going to lose 6% on your money. You have nothing at all to show for it, right? In the stock market, another crapshoot, right? Most people's 401ks are a 201k, and there's this feeling that it's going to go down again. So what really is the risk? Where should you be putting your money? So when people ask that question, is it a good time to buy? I think the answer is yes, depending on the situation. And I would much rather be a buyer now with the slightly higher interest rates, but having some options and having some power as opposed to being a buyer in a few months from now when rates are lower. Anyway, hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving. This is Juan Huerta reminding you, not all loan officers are created equal.